This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Thursday, August 10th, 2023. I'm Kate Sharon. The Greater Lafayette region has unveiled the results of a study that shows a demand for both affordable and upscale housing. The Greater Lafayette Ready Housing Study was conducted by Iowa-based RDG Planning and Design and highlights the challenges and opportunities in the housing market throughout the six-county region. RDG partner and project lead Charlie Cowell says the region is facing similar challenges as other parts of the Midwest, but its existing collaboration and partnerships created through the state's Regional Economic Acceleration and Development Initiative, or READY, put the region ahead in terms of taking action to overcome them. Greater Lafayette Commerce CEO Scott Walker says the biggest takeaway for him was the opportunity to boost housing at multiple income levels.
Some of us that are living in housing that may be less expensive than the national trend, if there was attractive housing projects underway for us, we could move up as well. And that would create more of that workforce housing availability too.
The 157-page study shows population growth and an expanding economy creating a pressing need to address attainable housing shortages. But the need for mid to high-end housing is also on the rise, which could help return lower-priced properties back to the market. More details have emerged regarding the impact of Tyson Foods' announcement this week that it's closing 4 chicken processing facilities, including one in Corydon. In a notice to the state, Tyson said the Southern Indiana closure could leave 368 employees out of work. The Springdale, Arkansas-based company said this week that it is closing the facilities as a means to lower costs, having already closed corporate offices in Chicago and South Dakota late last year and consolidated its workforce in Arkansas. The last day of production at the Corydon plant will be March 1st, 2024. The company said it's working to determine if any positions may still be needed after that date in connection with winding down operations. Governor Eric Holcomb on Wednesday presented 38 Indiana companies with the Governor's Century or Half Century Business Award. The honor recognizes, quote, each company's longevity and service to its employees, community, and the state. The awards are presented to Hoosier businesses that have remained in operation for a minimum of 100 or 50 consecutive years and have demonstrated a commitment to community service. A list of all honorees are available on InsideIndianaBusiness.com. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
The number of unionized Starbucks stores in Indiana has risen to 3. IIB's Alex Brown has more.
Workers at the Eastside Bloomington location voted 14-0 to form a union after organizers pointed to corporate accountability, the instability of healthcare and scheduled hours, and the stripping of a pride flag flying outside the store as motivation. Tuesday's vote solidifies the union's existence at the store. It will now hold greater power to negotiate contracts with Starbucks and make decisions in the store. National collective Starbucks Workers United said on its website, employees will have bargaining power once the National Labor Relations Board certifies the union, which takes place about a week after a passing vote. The workers announced their intentions to unionize in late June with a public letter signed by 13 employees addressed to Starbucks CEO Luxman Narasimhan. At that time, the paperwork with the NLRB was filed. The store joins Indiana locations in Clarksville and Valparaiso that have also unionized. Over 340 stores have unionized since the first did so in Buffalo, New York in late 2021. Starbucks operates around 9,300 stores, 220 of which are in the Hoosier State. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Ball State University is looking to ensure safe and proper housing for its students living off campus through a new program. The Off-Campus Quality Housing Initiative presents nearby landlords and property management companies with the opportunity to certify that their properties comply with the university's criteria and agree to uphold those standards. The program will provide students with a list of property managers who pledge to follow such standards. A Purdue University Institute in Peru has received funding for its next phase of projects. The Arequipa Nexus Institute for Food, Energy, Water, and the Environment was created in March 2018 as a collaboration between Purdue and the Universidad Nacional de San Agustín to focus on sustainability in the Peruvian city of Arequipa. In its first 2 phases, the institute studied natural resources, food and agriculture, technology, teaching and sustainable design, community engagement, and administration. The work conducted by more than 170 faculty and staff, 38 postdoctoral candidates, and over 50 graduate and undergraduate students produced 51 scientific journal articles and more than 100 videos and webinars. Radio icon Paul Smulyan is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.